Sam Morrill tweets, Trump's advisors need to reframe this. You could give the greatest concession of all time. Mark Normand said, wait, I thought Trump said he won. Hey, Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news for Sunday. I know I said I would do It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia today, but this Biden thing seems like a big deal, you know? They're kind of talking about it on the TV and worldwide, and people are very happy. So I thought I'd cover it. We'll go a little short today. We'll also talk about Saturday Night Live with Dave Chappelle. Lots of spoilers for that if you DVR'd it. Conan O'Brien said, I keep thinking of all the Super Bowl rings the Buffalo Bills would have won if they'd stopped the game in the third quarter. Tim Dillon with, someone tell Joe Biden he ran for president and won. Conan said, now Trump wants to quarantine in the White House. And Stephen Colbert said, this time of year, I love watching the states change color. Ricky Gervais said, now that it's all over, I can tell you that it was me who ate the bats. Kumail Nanjiani said, we must heal, but first we must gloat. And Matthew Broussard said, thoughts and prayers to the one New York City cabbie who was honking out of frustration and not solidarity. If you want a good laugh, Google Four Seasons Landscaping Company. I'm obsessed with this. The Trump campaign yesterday had a press conference at the Four Seasons. No, not the fancy Four Seasons Hotel. They had it at the less fancy Four Seasons Landscaping Company, which is right next to the place where you buy pornography. Google it. You have to look at it. All right, let's take a look at last night's Saturday Night Live. Major spoilers. They kicked off with CNN's election coverage. We see a very exhausted Wolf Blitzer played by Beck Bennett, and he announces Biden has won. And then we cut to Jim Carrey doing his terrible Joe Biden impression. He goes for about a minute. Then we get Maya Rudolph as Kamala Harris. We eventually move on to Alec Baldwin's really, really terrible Time to Go Donald Trump, who sings a downbeat version of The Village People's Macho Man. That itself is a callback to the post-2016 election episode in which Kate McKinnon's Hillary Clinton sang Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. And The Guardian here writes, such self-awareness redeems an otherwise standard lazy cold open, although to be sure, Baldwin, Carey, and Rudolph signing off by calling Trump a loser was pretty cathartic. 4 years ago, Dave Chappelle was the host. He was back last night. He gave his Ohio neighbors a hard time for not wearing masks, the joke being, what's the problem? You wear a mask to the Klan rally, wear it on the Walmart too, which is a good joke. In one sketch, Pete Davidson is dressed as Count Chocula, and Chappelle kind of lost it laughing at Pete Davidson. And he told the audience, look at Pete Davidson's lips. And Chappelle just kind of couldn't find his way. It was pretty funny. Colin Jost said about Trump's defeat, do you know how bad you have to be for Paris to ring bells when you lose? The whole world is celebrating like they won World War II. Che said, Trump says the Secret Service will have to drag him out kicking and screaming. Good. Joe said the most important thing about Donald Trump losing the election is that pretty soon we won't have to listen to Donald Trump ever again. We may want to for entertainment, like how we would slow down and look at a burning car, but we won't have to. Kate McKinnon came out and did Rudy Giuliani. Overall, an okay episode. Quick break, come back. I'll tell you about Bert Kreischer. Bert Kreischer spoke to the Laugh Button about The Cabin Season 2. Bert said there were so many New York comics that would be amazing on the show that I've known for 20-odd years. A lot of New York comics, too, that are all doing podcasts and killing it. I'd love to have all the tough crowd guys, Colin Quinn, Jim Norton, Bobby Kelly, all those guys. I'd love to get Sebastian Maniscalco out there. I'd love to get Chris DiStefano, Giannis Pappas, Andrew Schultz, Mark Normand, all those guys. And I would love to get two dope queens, Desus and Mero, and I'd love to get the BS South Show guys. It's a podcast I'm obsessed with. I don't know that one. I'd love to get them out there, and I'd definitely push to get Snoop out. I've become friends with Snoop recently, and I think he's one of the most interesting, fascinating, generous men I've ever met in my life. But yeah, I really haven't thought about doing a season 2. I'd love to do an episode with me and Tom and Jennifer Aniston. That's season 2. And in other news, famous podcast Daily Comedy News made a list. It is the 20 Under 20 list on Pocket Casts. Pocket Casts, aside from me being on this list, is my favorite podcast app. It's the one I use. I highly recommend it. And coincidentally, and I'm not doing shtick, coincidentally, they've added me to a list of 20 podcasts that are under 20 minutes long that you should check out. So thank you, Pocket Cast, for adding Daily Comedy News. But seriously, if you're looking for a good podcast app, I highly recommend Pocket Cast. I seriously use it. I'm not doing a commercial. I'm not doing shtick. I'm not doing a bit because they put me on a list. That's the app I actually use. All right, if you want more comedy, the new episode of the Weekly Comedy Thing is up on Live by Live, Live X Live. That's free. And I'm going to go have my bacon on bagel and some coffee. And we'll be back tomorrow with a normal episode. Thanks.